promise that the matters between the MTN and the CBN and the banks will be resolved amicably and equitably, and that everybody will be happy. I'm glad to tell you, yes, in November, we held a round of meetings with the MTN officials, even from South Africa, and by December, we concluded those engagements and the matters were resolved. It resulted in a notional, I repeat, it's not a fine, not a penalty, a notional reversal of the sum of $53 million, amounting to about 19.5 billion naira or something like that, and this amount has since been paid by the MTN, and the terms of settlement of these matters have already been lodged at the Nigerian courts. The Central Bank of Nigeria will get even more aggressive to see to it that food, any or all food items that can be produced in Nigeria and consumed in Nigeria that are currently being imported into Nigeria, that we would go through our records, and once we convince ourselves that these products can be produced in Nigeria, we'll place them on the FX restriction list. What does that mean? That you cannot source foreign exchange from the Nigerian foreign exchange market to import those items into Nigeria. But if you have free dollars, you can bring it in, but that you will not be able to even make payments for those from dollars from the Nigerian foreign exchange market. This is because we think that the initiatives that central bank had put in place in the past to cut imports and diversify the structure of the Nigerian economy is yielding results, and we would continue to be that aggressive. And indeed, we also went further to say that we would investigate the Economic Intelligence Department of the CBN together with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. We will investigate any company, any individual suspected of bringing these items either through any border, through smuggling or any means, for money laundering and economic sabotage. And that if we discover and conclusively that these companies or individuals are involved in bringing this thing in through money laundering and its economic sabotage, that we would write to all the banks, we will blacklist those companies, and those individuals running those companies or who owns those companies, that they can no longer operate any bank account in any Nigerian bank. Explain some of the success and achievements that we have seen in the Nigerian economy. Dangote today is establishing one of the biggest plants that have ever lived to see at a time today. It is as a result of government insisting that we must restructure the base of the Nigerian economy. That project is the largest single-train petroleum refinery in the world today. It is a 650,000 barrel per day refinery. By the time that refinery eventually comes on stream, Nigeria will not just be self-sufficient in the production of refined products. Nigeria will become a net exporter of refined products, earning nothing less than $7.5 billion annually. And these are some of the things that have been done, and it's as a result of deliberate policy of government supporting the monetary and fiscal authorities to say we need to deepen and restructure the base of the Nigerian economy. Right? Now, what is the cost of this project? Refinery project is about $9 billion. Dangote has provided nothing less than 50% in equity for that project. The remaining balance is being funded by local and foreign banks. And out of that, central bank has sown a seed to say we would provide about 75 billion naira, which is less than $300 million into that project. And we also said that it shouldn't just be about Dangote, but also that we are ready to welcome anybody that is ready to come and invest in Nigeria, both local and foreign. You need Naira loan, we will give you intervention fund to set up this project. We will provide you foreign exchange to import the plants and equipment that you need to produce these goods and services in Nigeria. That a presidential candidate at a debate or at some discussion talked about the fact that he's going to allow unimpeded imports into the country, or that he will remove capital control, or he will free float the Nigerian currency. Let me say this. First of all, there is no capital control in Nigeria today, because you cannot find the hand of central bank trying to intervene in the market for demand and supply for foreign exchange in Nigeria today. But normally, central bank is an independent institution, apolitical. But it is also important that we should say that this matter came up at the Monetary Policy Committee meeting between yesterday and today. And it's not about criticizing, it's about reassessing our position to say, look, is there any merit in the need to begin to say that we should look at free floating the currency, or allow free import of goods that can be produced into Nigeria? The Monetary Policy Committee came to a conclusion that this was a wrong premise. We cannot be talking about allowing import of items that can be produced in the country today, exporting jobs from Nigeria to foreign countries, and we say we have the interest of Nigeria at heart. We don't agree with anybody. We don't agree with that. It is a wrong premise to say you will allow import to just flood the country just because you want to please anybody. That is not our interest. And we have always said it, that we are apolitical. We will remain apolitical, but we do not want anybody to drag the central bank into issues that is within our remit. Otherwise, we will respond to it. On the issue of free float, the Monetary Policy reviewed it and said it will be the wrong and most wrong. It's as good as saying that we should go back to the eras of structural adjustment program again in Nigeria. The implication can better be imagined like you know. It will certainly lead to capital flight. It will lead to massive depreciation or devaluation of our currency, and ultimately lead to currency crisis in Nigeria. And I think we should all know that it is a route to perdition if we ever go in that direction.